Hey guys, and welcome to the video. We're going to be discussing a potential reboot of the MCU after the Secret Wars movie, so let's dive into this Marvel news. But before we get started, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and stay up to date with all the movie and streaming news going on around here, guys. So guys, we're going to take a look at this article here from comicbookmovie.com. More details about Marvel Studios' plan to reboot the MCU with Avengers Secret Wars have emerged. Yeah, guys, so in my opinion, ever since Avengers Endgame, where the franchise kind of peaked in its popularity, it seems that the consistency and the quality that we were used to in the earlier phases of the MCU just hasn't been there. You know, the leading characters have left, and the characters that people grew attached to aren't around anymore, and the franchise just hasn't been the same. We no longer have, Captain America. We no longer have Iron Man. Black Widow's not there, and it just seems that the franchise is lacking direction as well. But let's read into the article, guys, and see if we can learn a little bit more about what is going on. So, with all signs pointing to Marvel Studios rebooting the MCU after Avengers Secret Wars, new details have emerged about how Kevin Feige plans to tackle what will be a major fresh start for the franchise. Yeah, guys, this was inevitable. It was going to happen at some point. As I say, all the main characters that people loved and grew attached to have left. And, those characters are so beloved, to the fans and the audience. And they're just kind of left on the cutting room floor. I mean, we've got these fantastic characters like Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, and now there's no longer anybody playing them, and it's a shame because the studios could make tons of money off these characters if they were still around. The audience would, definitely go out and support the movies if new ones came out, but because they're no longer there, nobody can enjoy it. So a reboot is much needed. Avengers Endgame was the perfect end to the Infinity Saga, which is exactly what I was saying, guys. But it left Marvel Studios in somewhat of a predicament. Not only did they lose some of their most popular superheroes, but they had to start from scratch with a new saga, which thus far has been more hit or miss than expected. Yeah, especially with their Disney Plus streaming as well, guys. Obviously, WandaVision came out of the gate to start off with. That was a really, really good show. WandaVision was amazing. But ever since then, it was kind of on a bit of a decline. Most recently with Secret Invasion, which people really didn't like too much. So, fans are overly enamored with the multiverse, and all eyes are on Avengers Secret Wars amid reports that it will serve as a full-blown MCU reboot. Talking to the Watch podcast, MCU, The Reign of Marvel Studios, author Joanna Robinson said, "We have a quote from Kevin Feige, sort of implying like Secret Wars will serve as a soft reboot in which they can prune everything." So, quote, "That's not to use a Lokiism. They'll prune everything that's not working and just keep what is working, or bring back people you thought were gone forever." Yeah, and this seems to be the case. Like, they're doing this with Daredevil Born Again. Obviously, Charlie Cox in the role of Matt Murdock was so popular and so beloved. There would be absolutely no point in Marvel going out to cast somebody else in the role. They can just bring him over from, the Netflix series. And it seems like that's a good kind of philosophy. Keep what's working, get rid of what's not working. And there's no reason why they can't do that. So, in other words, this will be an opportunity to put classic versions of the characters fans love front and center. Iron Man without Robert Downey Jr., for example, minus concerns about pesky continuity issues. This is where they've written themselves into a corner, unfortunately. It's great to have a massive, overarching connected universe when it comes to comic book movies. But unfortunately, when you kill off a character or, something happens within, the overarching timeline, you kind of write yourself into a corner because then you have to play within the continuity of what you've set up before. And I don't know why Marvel doesn't do Elseworlds movies, kind of like what DC do with the Batman. We've previously heard that the reboot will be used as a means to bring in the X-Men into the fold, a clever means of avoiding any convoluted or confusing explanations as to why they were suddenly mutants on Earth 616. Earth 616 is the MCU timeline that we've been following along all this time, guys. So as of now, Avengers: The Kang Dynasty is still set to be directed by Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings helmer, Destin Daniel Cretton. Hopefully, these reports about Wonder Man do nothing to bring an end to those plans. Whether the same can be said for the writer Jeff Loveless, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, is another matter. Rumours has it that he's been dropped from the movie, while there are even claims Michael Waldron from Loki is no longer penning Avengers Secret Wars. So Sam Raimi, Alfonso Cuarón, and Sean Levy are said to be in the mix to direct the movie, but nothing has been confirmed. Avengers: The Kang Dynasty was recently pushed back to May 1st, 2026. Yeah, guys, so they're a long way off these movies. We've got a long time to kind of you know, speculate as fans as to what's going on, if there's going to be a reboot, if there isn't, who's going to be, you know, in these movies. We got a long time, and plenty of, you know, the next few years is going to be a lot of speculation. Trust me. With Avengers Secret Wars set to follow on May 7th, 2027. 2027. Wow, that's nearly 4 years from now. That's a long time, guys. So, can we get some toast? I love this guy's Twitter handle. It's so good. Kevin Feige has a plan to reboot... Oh, didn't mean to click that. Kevin Feige has a plan to reboot the MCU with Avengers Secret Wars. Yeah, so we've kind of just read through this already, guys. We have a quote from Kevin Feige sort of implying Secret Wars will serve as a soft reboot and can prune everything. And then we had that quote from below that we read. We've already read, guys. So, disclaimer. Okay, yeah. No, that's nothing to do. So let's go and have a look at some of the community posts and see what it says. But will Tony Stark now be a black lesbian woman? Yeah, because like Disney has to race swap and gender swap and, you know, ethnically swap everything. It's entirely possible. It could be. It could be. You never know. How many black lesbians have been cast in the MCU? What? Okay. Can we actually get some decent comments, or is it just people arguing with each other? Yeah, it's just people arguing with each other, guys. So there's not really, I'm not really going to go into these comments because it's just people, you know, being petty and stuff. Unfortunately, sometimes, you know, within, you know, comic book fandom, there is that toxic side where people just want to, you know, argue and be argumentative and hate on each other. But I'm not going to get involved in that. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's where we are. So it looks like Kevin Feige has, you know, said a small quote about a potential reboot after Avengers Secret Wars. So that's something to look forward to. Even though I love, you know, Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr. in those roles as Iron Man and Captain America, it will still be good to see new actors come in and make those characters fresh and different and do something different with them that we haven't seen before. But jump into the comment section, guys. Let me know what you think about this. Would you be excited about an MCU reboot after Avengers Secret Wars, or do you think they should continue the same timeline as what we've been seeing after Avengers Secret Wars has ended? I'd love to know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.